Okay, so I did find another sheet of this paper, and so I have, of course, the 12-inch by 7 3/4 is what this page is. And then this one, it actually repeats the pattern, and it lines up almost perfectly on most of the little dots. Not all of them, but on most of them. Now, I left it a little bit longer than I would need it because I'm going to work this page first, and then I'll see if, but I'll need at least what that is. Okay, so I am setting this piece here. Let me put my lid on my glue. And let's grab a couple of these. So I'm going to put this down so that it's even top and bottom and right where I want it. So that ain't moving. So now I'm going to find my 1/4 inch gussets, and I'm going to work this into the gusset, because when I fold this, I'm going to want that to be indented into the gusset. And this is also why we put these pages down, these pages, the score tape. So I'm going to go ahead and take the score tape off. Now, the score tape is not on the blue paper that we just folded over. It's underneath it. So I'm going to take a little bit of the glue and just put a little bit, not all the way to the edge because it won't cover all that. And I'm going to lay this down on that, okay? I pulled it over, it's laid down, this is all nice and flush. I will be able to lift this side up and glue this down. This is just how I get, now don't push too hard, but you do want to work this in here, and you want to work it against the front cover side, and then flip it and kind of make sure the front cover side stays down, and work it against the back side. So your spine piece, so that you're going to get a nice indentation there. Then once you do that, lift up, pull your score tape off, your score tape cover, and we're going to do again a little bit of blue on the cover paper. I'm going to take my bone folder as I'm laying this down. There we go, and get it down onto that score tape. And using the score tape, if you're using glue, which is fine, you can use the glue, but you're going to have to wait until the glue dries. And I do have glue right here at the edges, so I'm not going to start folding this until I know that dries. It's art glitter glue, so it dries pretty fast. Okay, so now we have the next one. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm holding this paper down on the spine part while I'm working the paper, because I don't want it to get where I'm, where it's getting all discombobulated. And then I'm going to work a little bit on this side. It's a whole lot easier to work on this side once you put this down. Again, we're going to take this side off, put a little bit of glue. Excuse me, we do need to glue this down. all along here. So now I'm using my glue all. So we're going to get glue all in here. This is the part that the pages are going to be hooked on, so you want to make sure that this stays down. Now, if you want to use score tape for the whole thing, by all means do. I have done that, and I've done the glue. And I'm just going to move this down until I get to that score tape. And there we go. And then I'm going to work this a little bit and get that glue all moved around in there. There we go. That's feeling pretty good. Good job. Good job, glue. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here and work it down, and I'm going to flip it over. And now I don't have to hold this side. I just get it against the back cover. We've got the spine edge done. Now I'm working on the edge that goes against the back cover. Okay, so now we're going to pull our tape, put a ditch of glue, and I will go ahead now. I could have made a mark over here where this laid down. If I would have thought about it, I would have made a mark, and then I would have known where to put the glue. But this is also an alternative where you just put the glue on your paper. Because the pattern matches up with the other page that I've got, I'm just going to butt them together. Normally you would take and do just like we did with the two 8.5 by 11 pieces and seam them together, but not going to do that this time. Okay, so we're going to work this, and it'll start grabbing as you work, and just kind of start from your center and then work your way out. Probably put too much glue on there, but that's okay. That's okay. You also have to be careful while you're doing this that you are still maintaining it going straight across, because sometimes this will catch a little crooked and then get your page off, which is no big deal, but it is nicer when it goes. Do a little extra work around the seam. Make sure you're getting any air bubbles or anything out of all of that area. Keep your burnishing tool clean. If you get gooey stuff coming out somewhere, just make sure you wipe it off so you don't get it on your paper. Okay, so far so good. A little bit of dried glue come off of there. Well, I'll get my little glue thing here in a little while. Okay, so I have to, yeah, this is the one, I think, that just about matches up perfectly. I did have to cut off just a teeny tiny little bit on the one side, and I did get it a little. I'm going to cut off a little bit off of this end. Come here. There we go. Yeah, it was just a teeny bit crooked. teeny bit crooked. And there we go. So I'll just glue that down, and then we will get our pages in. All right, guys? See, I think I'll be back in a second. Okay, guys. So I've gone ahead, I've done 3 of them already, 3 of the 4 pages. I'm going to, on our little rectangular binding system, I'm going to lay some score tape. This is 3/8 inch score tape, and the bottom of the binding system on each page is a 1/2 inch. So that will leave room for me to be able to put some glue on both sides, where the fine tip comes in. And then I'm just kind of finger scoring it down. Okay. All right, so first, before we set the pages down, I do want to fold this, and you want to take off your clips and glue down the front flap as well. So now, after you know it's completely dry, everything, you know, the little glue spots that you put is the main thing that you want to have dry along these 2 gussets. So you're going to just gently run this burnishing tool back and forth and just bring it up to this. You don't have to lay it down. You might split your paper. I've seen some people do it and their paper doesn't split, and it's like the first time I do that, I know my paper will split. If it goes past this point, you're just doing your book an injustice, because it's going to be filled with pages. It's not going to go past that. All right? So, again, with this one, I'm not pushing hard. I'm just making sure. And if you start to get a bubble, you're not completely dry. And then you need to stop, do everything that you were doing before, and let it dry. So, you know, wait another 15-20 minutes. But I'm not doing any bubbling. So, there we go. And that is our book. A little funky looking, right? But, you know, it's the way the pages are going to be sitting in it, I think are going to make it look super cool. Just super cool. So now we're going to put the pages down. I just want to see this. Yeah. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay, so now we're going to put the pages down. And on this spine, I have room for the 4 1/2-inch gussets to go down and 1/4 inch in between each one. So there's 1/4 inch in the front and 1/4 inch in the back. So I wasn't really sure if I was going to need the 1/4 inch in the front, because I could have made it just a 3-inch and just stuck this right to the front, because what are you really going to do with this little 3.5-inch piece, you know? But I decided that I would go ahead and do the 1/4 inch anyway. Now, you're going to want to center it in the paper because your pages are slightly smaller than the paper is. Okay, so you're going to have to center them. So I am going to turn the book this way so that I can see. But I am still going to use, I'm going to move this a little bit. I'm still going to use my grid lines. I want to put my spine at the start of one of my grids. So then I can count off my 1/4 inch. So this is my first page. I'm going to take off the score tape backing. And actually you can't not have that 1/4 inch on the front side, because in order for this binding system to work, it does need a 1/4 inch to lay down. And then I'm just going to put a thin bead of glue on both sides of the score tape. I'm not a big advocate of putting glue on the score tape. Now if you get a little bit on, it's no big deal. Make sure it's not on your side. Okay, so now I'm going to line this up top and bottom so it's in the middle, and I want to lay this down very lightly on the 1/4 inch right there and right there. And I'm going to push in the center and make it go flat. And then bring it back up and make sure I'm not gluing my flap down. And then I'm going to push it this way, and it comes right to the edge of the gusset. So that's how these are going to work, I hope, by going back and forth. But then I'm hoping too, now maybe through the years as they get, maybe they will lay to one side or the other, but right now it's standing straight up, which is what I want. Now as you go through these and work them and stuff, they might, you know, we're just going to have to see. Okay, so I'm going to set this back up. I got to be able to have room to see everything. I'm going to put my end of my spine on one of the major inches. I'm going to make sure my page is at the 1/4 inch. Right there, right there. Okay, so now I'm going to get page number 2. Take the score tape backing off. Let's get a bead of glue. Oop, see, I get a little bit on. And I do the edges. Okay, so now this one, I want a 1/4 inch away from this page. And you can do it one of two ways. We can push this down this way and then just butt it right up to that, which is I think what I'm going to do. I've got that down, or I'll keep it off just a little bit. So I'm going to lay this even, front and back. I want this to go down now. Okay, lay this even, front and back, top and bottom. And I'm going to almost completely butt it up against it. I'm leaving just, I can just see a smidgen of the paper. Now I'm going to stand this one back up. And it looks like I have a very nice 1/4 inch. I'm going to lay this one down. Does it go flat? Yes, it does. And then lay it down this way, because I'm trying to get that burnish down well. So you can use your finger tool or your whatever you burnish with. I love my Teflon bone folder. Just love it. Okay, so now we have them all standing up straight, which is what I need for this project. So This might not work for regular journals. I don't know yet, but we'll see. We're gonna experiment. What the heck, right? Okay. So that is very good. Let me show you. So there you have a quarter of an inch here and then a quarter of an inch inside. And if I push on this and lay it down, it has room to flatten all the way. Okay? But then when they stand up, you've got your quarter of an inch in there. All right. So we're going to lay the next one down. I went a bit wonky with the tape on this one. So a little bit more glue on one side than the other. And a little on the edges. Okay. Lay this one down. Line this up top and bottom. And just leave yourself a little bit of space for freedom. Okay. All right. Pull this one up. I've got a little bit of glue coming out. And then I'm going to flip this. Be careful when you're flipping so that it doesn't move on you. But the score tape should help with that tremendously. Okay, and then we're going to stick it up. All right. Now it's getting a little heavier because this, well, it's got a paper clip on it and all the extra pages. Yeah, looking good. With a little bit of glue on the edge there. How about this side? Yeah, everything's good. Okay. It is a lot easier putting these in. A lot easier. Last one. Woohoo! And then next video, I'm probably going to start decorating the pages. And then once the pages are all decorated, I will, okay, probably could have left this a little shorter. I probably could have just done the 3 inches and been fine, but we're going to see. All right. Got everything ready. Push this forward, or yeah, forward and down. And then we're going to line it up and leave just a little bit of space for good measure. All right, there we go. And then flip this up and flip this. Oh, nice big old flying glue. Flying glue. Yeah, burnish it well. Okay. And then stand that one up. Little glue pieces. Stand this one straight up. Bring this forward and this forward. And honestly, I think we're fine with space. It is a little wider in between than you do get in most pages, but that's also going to leave me a lot of room to be able to do fun things in. So I'm pretty happy with that. We're going to see. We're going to see how well it works. But see, you're going to have lay this way or lay this way. Now let's see how it does if I push all these that way. They'll lay down nicely, and I can flip. And as it gets more use, that will work like that. But then when I want them to stand up, I'm hoping that they will remain standing up. So we'll see. I think the binding system itself works just fine, but I want it to stand up nicely. But I think too, as I fill them, it's going to make it better. Going to make it better. Fill in the space. Fill in the space. Yeah. I'm loving it, guys. Okay. Let's see it in the box. We haven't done anything more with the box. I'm gonna slide it in this way. I almost made it too tight. Almost made it too tight. Isn't that going to be cool? I love it. And then this is where our display is going to be. Yes. So, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Okay, guys. Till next time. Talk to you later. Take care of each other. Be kind to each other. And I hope you make something you love.